All right, here we go. um, yeah, here's a story about the Rebbe Marash, the fourth Rebbe of Chabad. Fourth Rebbe of Chabad. All right, I'll tell another story. I wanted to tell one story, but I'll tell a different story. This story is even brought down in the first mimer that the Rebbe said in Tafshin Yud Aleph, 1951, when he became Rebbe. And the point of that the Rebbe brought was that the Rebbes, they did what they commanded, they told the Hasidim to do. So one day, the Rebbe Marash, now the Rebbe Marash, he lived, his life was shorter than any of the Rebbes. He passed away at the age of 48 years old. And every moment of his life was, very precious, very, very filled with action. It didn't waste a moment. So it was very surprising that he told, I think, two of his Hasidim that he wanted to, I think one of them was even his son, no, two of his Hasidim, to get into a carriage and that he wanted to travel to France, to Paris. So they traveled. There were other times also that he made journeys outside of Lubavitch. He lived in Lubavitch. Anyway, so they traveled to France. How far the journey is from France, from Lubavitch to France, I don't really know. I guess if I look at a map, anyway. But let's say it was a day travel. Anyway, so they traveled to this place. Maybe they went there by train. I don't exactly know. But anyway, they got to France, into Paris. When they went to Paris, they went to a hotel, very fancy hotel, French hotel. And he said that he wanted to take the most expensive room. And the man at the counter said, "We don't have the most expensive room; it's already taken, but we do have another room which is, almost, as expensive." And he said, "Where is that?" And he told him where it was, and it was like second floor or something. So I said, "Okay, I'll take that room." So I took that room, a very expensive room. He took that room. Nobody could exactly understand what was the whole purpose of this. I mean, it was a big waste of time, apparently a big waste of money also. Then he went downstairs and he went to the gambling room, to the casino. And the casino, everybody knows the French are fun-loving people, And there was this big casino there, and they were gambling, roulette tables and all these other, card games and dice and things like that. And of course, there were drinks, there was music, there was laughter, there was this. And he took a chair and he sat down. I think he went with one of his Chassidim. I think he sat down at this table. Now, the Rebbe was a very, how do you say, a very impressive person. Just his demeanor and his face, it was a different sort of human being. So he only attracted a bit of attention, even though that in France, to be unusual was usual. But still, even for that, he was unusual. So he sat there for a while, and he watched these people gambling. And he went over to one young man that was standing and gambling by the roulette table or whatever. And the man was sipping on his wine. And he went over to him and he said, "Young man," I think he said in Yiddish, "Young man, wine of the non-Jews stuffs up your heart. It covers your heart. Yayin nesech metamtem es alev. It stuffs up your heart, makes your heart unable to feel any godliness, Jewish emotions." And he sat down. And this young man was, sort of, startled, taken aback by this, and, didn't really mean anything to him. Why did he say that? He could have said, young man, you're going to burn in hell or something like that. No, he said, young man, wine stuffs up the heart. And he sat there for a while, and he went over to this person again, standing there, and he said, young man, it's younger man, whatever, Zainayid, be a Jew. And he left. And this person was, he was sort of very shaken up by this. He tried to sort of regain his composure, but he didn't. I guess he cashed in his chips or whatever. And he went to the waiter and said, who is this man, this person that just came over to me? And he said, I don't know. I have no idea. But he took the second most expensive room in the whole hotel. In other words, it was known. He didn't just take a regular room. It was already known that he took this room. So it took him a while. He sat down, and meanwhile, it says that the Rebbe went outside, and I said before that the room was on the second floor. I'm not so sure that that's true, that it was on the second floor, but nevertheless, the Rebbe went outside, and he was visibly very moved by this whole confrontation that he confronted them in, and he was like sort of so exhausted by he sat down in this chair that was waiting there, and it was a chair that had these two pulls on it, and it was in the place of an elevator. I guess there was no elevators. I don't know when elevators were invented, but this was like in the late 1700s. The Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe Marash, I'm sorry, the Rebbe Shmuel. That was in the late 1700s, right? That he was. So he sat down in this chair, and immediately the servants, the waiters that were there, they grabbed a hold of the poles to lift it up to carry him up to the next floor. That's what there was. And he said, no, I'm sorry. He sat down, and he went to his room. He went to his room to recuperate from whatever was in. Meanwhile, this young man that the Rebbe spoke to was visibly shaken. And he asked, who is this man? And they told him this room. So finally decided he's going to go and find out who this person is. And he went to the Rebbe's room. He went, knocked on the door, and it was easy to find the room. And he sat alone with the Rebbe for a while, and he came out, and he became a totally different person. And it says that he came from the family of Klein, and that he eventually became a very well-known, respected family in Chabad. I don't know if Rebbe Klein of blessed memory, one of the Rebbe's secretaries, came from this family, but nevertheless, so that he totally changed himself from one into the other, and he became an observant Jew, a true Jew. So we see that the Rebbe wasted a lot of time, and every moment of the Rebbe's life was tremendously precious, and he wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, just in order to bring one Jew back to his senses. And that's how important every single Jew is, that one Jew can change the whole entire world. That's what we just learned in the Devar Malchut. Have a good day with Mashiach now, God willing. Tomorrow, 8:15. I hope I won't be late again like I was today. My jet lag is little by little is anyways subsiding. It's little by little becoming defeated by my daily schedule. Okay. God bless you all. Have a good day with Mashiach now, and see you all tomorrow.